Honey, come on.
Welcome to the Steelers Realm Podcast. And now, here are the boys of Steelers Realm.
Yes, here we are. Welcome, everybody. Steeler Nation, Steelers Realm Podcast. I'm on your host, JT, joined by my man, TA, on the road somewhere in the Appalachian Mountains and up northern Appalachian Mountains. Producer with us tonight. We get the triple threat. What's up, guys? How we doing?
Man, I am just enjoying a little bit of the Appalachia Mountains.
Appalachia.
You got to make sure you say it right, or you ain't from Appalachia if you are saying Appalachian.
Mm-hmm.
Say,
Yeah.
East Hill Jacks, they'll correct you in a heartbeat, man.
We're up here
And
in
then go ahead and they'll
Pennsylvania.
give you some, right, and then they'll go ahead and give you some of their Mountain Dew. And it ain't the kind you get out of a machine either, JT.
No, drink out of a mason jar.
Absolutely. If you're lucky, it's a jug and you can stagger home later on tonight.
That's it. That's it. So yeah, man, here we are. What OTAs
How's it going?
are all done, everything.
Going
How did
good.
you make it? How'd you make it through last week, there, producer?
It wasn't bad. There was some rain here. What about you?
Yeah, we got hammered, man. We got hammered. We got hammered. So yeah, I had to clean up some water in the basement. Kind of ran in the door. The drain's over full. And
dang.
that was about the extent of it, really. So, but crazy, man, crazy rain.
Crazy, man.
Looks like more coming. Yeah, I'm out back right now, so we may have another one rolling in as we speak here. So keep an eye on the clouds behind me. If they start turning gray and you see lightning, yell at me. I'll bail.
You guys were actually pretty lucky. I was down in Tornado Alley when this all came through yesterday.
Oh, no.
God, yeah.
And now did you see where we're going to have the heat bubble? We're going to be part of the bubble, man.
That's coming.
Did you see that?
We have a baseball tournament this weekend too. So fortunately, we got an early game Saturday. Early, we get 8 o'clock and noon. So we should be. We'll have one game in the heat, but should be out of there before it gets too blistering hot. Hopefully.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
So,
man,
yeah,
we go from winter to we have April and June here. Now we're gonna have August in late June. Like, what the hell?
Well, now remember, tomorrow is the first day of summer, so it's ready. Key up the band. Yep, tomorrow's the first day, baby. We're ready.
Right on time. So, producer, what do you got lined up for us to talk about tonight?
Okay, we got a really good fun show for us tonight. We're going to be talking to DeShon Elliott. He got a bag, man. He got paid, man. We'll get into that.
Right. He did, yeah. What else you got?
Well, there are a few other topics I wanted to hit as well. I mean, the Ravens signed a cornerback that we possibly could have added. Rodgers got some Vegas odds on what he could do this season. And then Shador Sanders was in a little bit of trouble. So we'll hit those topics.
I did hear that, yeah. Sounds good. So, all right, what do you want to start with, TA?
Man, I'm going to say let's go with Sanders for 1,000, Gene.
Okay, I'll take it. So
He was going over 1,000, I think, in that that zone.
question is 101 miles. The answer is on 101 miles per hour. And the question is,
My
You know how
question
fast I was
is,
going?
do you know how fast it's going? You were going fast. My question is, what is it with Cleveland? And it's either speeding, drunken driving, or motorcycle accidents. I mean, these
you forgot Didlin.
Oh, Didlin, yeah, parking behind the donut shop.
Yeah, or massage parlor Didlin.
Right. Either or. I mean, you already know that you came into the league like in disbelief already. You were supposed to be a number 1 pick. You didn't go until the 5th round. And now, because you got a little bit of money in your pocket, you went out and bought a car. And now you're going to go out and you're going to go tearing up the streets at 100 mile an hour, not only putting others at risk, but yourself and your football career at risk. I don't understand. There should be a seminar in the NFL. You're going to go ahead. We're going to sign a contract. We're going to give you this money. But I tell you what, you don't earn a damn dime until you pass our NFL college of stupidity. There's got to be something in
there. What they're going to do as part of their contract, they're giving them a car that locks off if you go past 60 miles per hour.
Oh, yeah, that's it. They should put governors on their vehicles when they're under contract. Should be part of the contract.
When there's a breathalyzer test, they can put them in all those cars as well.
I agree. Breathalyzer test for sure.
Yeah.
Just don't give me one.
Let me just throw a caveat out there, TA. I know another quarterback who went fast on a motorcycle and had an accident on a motorcycle that wasn't from Cleveland. He was on the other side of the border over here from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Big Ben, right?
Oh, Big Ben. Oh, absolutely. The whole and no helmet and the whole possible concussion and what was he thinking? And
dude, you look back at his the video of when he was drafted to after that accident and his surgery. He had a lot of work done, man. He had a lot of work done. I mean, rightly so. That was a nasty accident. I remember where I was then when I heard the news. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, those guys. Thank God he's okay.
But
where were we at? The 7-Eleven, Circle K? Don't leave us hanging like that, JT. Where were you at?
Where were we at?
When Big Ben was in his accident.
I was having lunch with my former company, the Hassler dealership. We were down in Murraysville eating at Pugliano's. That's where we were, dude. Pugliano's. When we walked into lunch and it was on the TV and they're like, Big Ben was in a wreck. That's exactly where I was.
Crazy.
Yeah. I'll tell you who I was at lunch with, too. Rich Villar, a couple other guys for lunch. Angelo. Craziness. But anyhow, yeah, I mean, dude, we even got to training camp yet, and he's already getting busted, tearing up the streets of Cleveland. Oh,
he's doing donuts in the parking lot.
Like, come on, man. Doesn't it make you glad that Steelers didn't just take a flyer on them?
Oh, absolutely. Can you imagine? I mean, we have so much drama with this team now. Could you imagine the drama that would have come with that? 101 in the strip district. I could see the headlights now with Permani's bag strapped on his back.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Andre? What is it with Cleveland? They suck.
It's always a great way to start the show with pissing on Cleveland.
They do, man. They do. But hey, welcome, Andre. Well, you know what? On the flip side of that, our rookie drafted quarterback is making some waves. I'm going to jump around here a little bit, if that's okay, producer. You can keep us on track. But since we're talking rookie quarterbacks, our man Will Howard is turning some heads. DA, did you see that?
Look, I'd really like to know, did he really truly set the all-time rookie for OTAs? I get it. It's football in shorts. Right. But to come out of there with the touchdowns he had, the completion rate that he had, the accuracy that everybody is talking or the buzz about him, and then just him getting along as a pro and a young guy and Aaron mentoring him, you're right. And this kid's saying all the right things.
Absolutely.
The maturity level on him is off the charts.
Yep. I like the fire in him, man. I like his energy. He's going about things. So if you remember, he's the first guy to say, "Send me. How soon could I get the playbook?"
Right. Now that I'm a Steeler coach, does that mean here's my email address? Email it to me so I can start studying
How soon
tonight.
Can I get the playbook? Yeah.
Yeah, he's been very well prepared. Shedeur Sanders, let's just say he's too busy driving to read the playbook.
All right. Well, all right. Let's flip back to Cleveland again. So, rumor has it that our man Mittens isn't doing so hot.
Oh no! Who could have seen that coming?
Well, I know one side of the river would have seen that coming. One side, this side of the border would have seen that coming. We say, "I told you so." they're actually saying he may not even make the roster.
That's what's funny about that is you're right. They are saying that, and I can't help but wonder and think to myself, you come into Cleveland pretty cocky, thinking that you were all that in a bag of chips coming from Philly, Super Bowl ring on your finger, and how much you learned and how much you grew and how you're ready to take control.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't sound like he's in control right now.
Yeah, certainly does not.
Yeah, he's off the rails with the freight train right now. We need to get him back on track if Cleveland's going to have any hope this year.
Absolutely not. I want him off the rails.
Absolutely. I want
there
him to
be
start.
Nothing better than me to laugh at that.
I want him to start. Oh, Highsmith will have a hell of a day that day. Imagine. Like him to do his reverse 360 spin out, and all of a sudden, boom, there's Highsmith. Meat chop. Oh, man. So.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I think this defense would love to have a crack at him.
Mm-hmm. Just love it
especially for the way he abandoned this team.
Yeah, for the way he pussied out the last couple games, he didn't dress and all that blah blah blah. Beginning to think that there was more to it than the meat. Yeah, there probably was. But anyhow, so hey, while we're talking quarterbacks, apparently our new veteran quarterback is looking pretty decent too. Are you guys hearing that?
Oh yeah, he is.
I'm hearing that he's coming into camp. He's doing and saying all the right things. And what it looks like this time, which I want to see how this continues on, because it's early, it's the honeymoon stage yet.
Sure.
But there's some out there saying, you know what? This might be the best thing that's ever happened to Aaron because he doesn't have to play GM. He doesn't have to coach. He just has to be a teammate. Mm-hmm. He just has to get along with everybody and play within the system and use his expertise to help guide the team down the road. Now, if he can do that and stay off the Pat McAfee show and not bring any drama, brother, I'm okay. But here's the thing that scares me about that. Let's just say, I'm just going to throw out fantasy land right now, okay? Fantasy land is right now, it's week 13, and the Steelers are sitting at 12-3, okay? And we've got basically 2 more games to go, right? Or wait a second, week 13, that one, I'm sorry, week 15, and 2 weeks to go, right? And we're on the cusp of making the playoffs. Does Aaron go off the rails at that time and start doing guest appearances on the Pat McAfee show? Does he bring a turmoil to this team, or can he actually stay quiet, focused, and do what he needs to do to continue to be successful in the playoffs?
Well, yeah, you're definitely right. He needs to
finish out the regular season
when it's clutch time, or else we'll be going downhill. But like you mentioned about the game calling, that was actually a big issue with him and the Jets, is they were not getting on the same page. Like, Rodgers had to call a bunch of plays at the line, and he was running down the clock and audible at the last second. Now, we'll have to see what he does. Will he be able to get along with Arthur Smith? So we'll have to see what happens. But hopefully Rodgers can, show up in big time when it matters.
Well, that's a good segue into my next point, was that I'm starting to see a lot of kind of comments that are leaning towards Art Smith kind of redesigning this offense to kind of make it fit the players that we have now. I mean, of course, we got Metcalf there for him to throw to. I mean, we got 2 great great tight ends. Plus, they're talking about maybe bringing another one in along with the other guys that we have. I mean, I can see a short dink and dunk type of game. Not a lot of running. I mean, it's going to be a balanced attack, but I think we're going to see more of that. Just kind of get that feeling that there's a lot of undertones to that, Arthur Smith is kind of molding this offense. Of course, we'll see once we get into camp and everything what's going to look like. But I mean, all the components are there, and just because we've got this new running back and a nice looking running tandem and big tight ends and stuff, that doesn't necessarily mean we're just going to pound the ball like he had said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't bring Metcalf in just to run the rock all the time. But I do see a balanced attack there, and I can see a dink and dunk game. Occasional Metcalf gets behind a defender, and I can see that happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of this offense is going to be to DK Metcalf. I think he's going to be the focal point of this offense. He's going to carry the load because if he has over 1,200 to 1,500 yards, it's going to really set up this offense for success because the other guys can be just role players instead of having to be the true wide receiver 2 in this offense.
Well, and let's put it this way, guys. Let's say Arthur Smith does not cater to this offense. Does Arthur Smith ever get a job again?
I don't know. There will be an awful lot of pressure on him after going through with the Matt Canada experiment, going through that. And okay, we give him his freshman year. All right, now what are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
Or does he have the ultimate excuse and then I've got a brand new quarterback room and a brand new or a revamped wide receiver room and revamped offense? I mean, you know what I mean. It's every year. It's the NFL, man. You've got to be able to adapt to the team, and that's the sign of a good coach. Utilize your players to the best of their ability and put them in the best position to succeed. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's that simple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you should have an offense where he's able to craft his game plan around the players he has instead of forcing those players to fit his own system.
I just hope he has the flexibility to do that.
Okay. Yeah, I hope so. Now, I think we should probably get into the big news of the week. Well, the only thing that really happened this week, that was the DeShon Elliott contract. So he signed a 2-year extension. I gave him $12.5 million. That's 6.25 for 2026 and 2027. So that's a really good contract for him. Puts him at like the 30th ranked safety in the league, which obviously I think he played much better than that. Obviously if you look at his stats, he had like 108 tackles out of 111. He had 3 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, interceptions, 6 passes deflected. Like the guy was really playing well last year, and I thought,
hell yeah, man, deservedly so. I'm happy to keep that guy on staff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, him and Minka were really one of the better safety tandem in the league, I thought. And it can be going forward, especially as we get into 2026, 27, and this year included.
Guys, I was watching excuse me, I was watching Troy clips the other day, and I'm like, he set the bar so high for a safety position that nobody ever come close to that, man. I mean, I'd like to see a third of the kind of play out of Minka that we saw out of Troy. I'd be happy with.
Yeah, I would love that.
Let me even ask this: do you think Minka even compares up to Carnell Lake?
That's a good question. I don't think so. No. Wasn't Carnell Lake converted to a safety after playing corner?
Well, no. Remember, he came out of college as a linebacker. We converted him to a safety. Then when Woodson got hurt, he played corner that 1 year and then went back to playing safety.
Yeah. Well, Randy Fuller filled in that year too for Woodson too.
Correct.
that 95?
But my point is Carnell went on to have a really good career with the Steelers.
Yes, he did.
At this point in time, do we feel Minka is ahead of even Carnell, or is Carnell still ahead of Minka? Because for all the hoopla on Minka, I just have to question it.
7 or 8 points a day.
Good. Hydrate.
Put it in that.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I have to say no, man.
Probably not.
I lose my video here. What happened?
Oh, that's
No,
me.
I think your video there. It looks like hijacked your face for his
Don't
video.
worry, I'll fix it 1 second. So yeah, what do you think about Minka and Elliott teaming up the next few years? While I fix it.
Well, I think that's what we got.
Well, I'll tell you what. And it kind of reminds me a lot of Ryan Clark and Troy Polamalu at this point in time. I'm not saying that neither of them are the same caliber as those two, but it's still a pretty good tandem.
Yeah.
And I, it's a solid tandem for sure.
True. Well, I think part of the reason why, like Minka playing more deep center than anything, and probably the fact that it wasn't targeted as much or around the ball as much is a sign that they stayed away from him.
Yep.
Well, this is true. And I think with this here, it also helps solidify the fact that this will allow Minka to be a little bit more freer and to roam around the cabin. But it's going to be up to Elliott now to make sure that nothing gets past that second level.
True.
Or that third level,
True.
I should say.
True. Well,
because tackling-wise, DeShon is much better tackler than Minka.
Oh.
He has no problem with getting up there in the box and putting a lick on somebody.
I don't have the depth chart here, but we've got a couple other guys that are quite capable of stepping into.
Oh yeah, we've got Killebrew that's pretty decent if he's got to come in, not only special teamers but can come in a dime package as well.
Right.
And I'm trying to think of the other one that's escaping my mind right now.
I don't have the depth chart.
Oh, Juan. No, Juan's we got Juan Thornhill picked up from Cleveland. Hopefully to resurrect his career.
Right.
Get it back on
That's
path.
right. So,
Because he was doing pretty good in Cleveland up until he had that injury, and then Cleveland kind of gave up on him.
well, they do like keeping some veterans at key positions, don't they? And there he is. He's back.
Well, they do, and I think that's a lot of it also has to do for just the locker room to keep that maturity in that locker room.
To keep.
Oh yeah, I wanted to.
Because look
expand
at
on
keep
that
it
point
from
real quick.
going new money. Going diva.
Right, because think of it this way. Can you imagine what that locker room could have been last year if they didn't keep a lid on Pickens?
Oh God.
We're blown up.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of paying our own, I like keeping Elliott and reinforcing the idea. If you play well with us, you can get paid, because it really encourages other players who are in contract years right now, like Calvin Austin or Jalen Warren, who can also ball out and build a good locker room culture, like you said.
And I will say this. This might be the first year in almost a decade that we have a solid locker room. And besides Aaron Rodgers, if he can keep the diva side and the drama side down, this might be the most drama-free locker room we've had in a long time. So it's really up to the coaches to coach and the players to play.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Well, if you look at each position group, you have veteran leadership. I mean, the O-line, you've got Cam, the linebackers, you've got Minka and Highsmith, or TJ and Highsmith, and the safeties and corners, you got You got veterans there, and who's the guy? We
Darius
brought in?
Slay, I love bringing him in. He's
Yeah,
a great mentor.
Slay. We got Slay too. So yeah, man. I mean,
bring in guys
everywhere
who've
you
had
turn.
that championship pedigree, who won us, Super Bowl with the Eagles last year. Bring those guys into the locker room really helps, I think.
Well, you know what, Hijacker, you bring up a good point. This team has done nothing but bring champions in, whether it be at the collegiate level or the professional level, to try to get that winning attitude, that extra what it takes to be a Super Bowl champion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love them bringing these guys. Those Georgia Bulldogs they brought in, and Pickens and Broderick and Darnell, and college guys they brought in. Build that championship mindset. Hopefully it can rub off on the rest of this team, and they can go places in the NFL as well.
You know what we need to do, guys? We need to get Mr. Optimistic Rob King back on with us.
Hell yeah!
Unfortunately, he's like up to his ears in Pirates baseball right now. So, but yeah, I would love to give once we get in through that late in the season. I'd love to get him again, but I'm sure we can get him back on again.
Yeah, I love his thoughts.
Yeah, I would love his optimism.
Oh yeah. Speaking of optimism, how many picks are you gonna predict for Mika this year? Is he gonna beat what he had the last 2 years of only one pick?
Well, you know what? I can see a ripple effect coming that would create more opportunities for him. With us getting more pressure on the quarterback, I can see more opportunities. So I would say over. Whatever that number is, I would take the over this year.
Yeah,
what about you?
I'd pick over for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. Like 3 or 4 at least. I don't know if he'll get 6, but he'll be up there. But I like what they did because I remember he had Edmonds next to him back for like several years. He knew where Edmonds would be. And it's gonna be the same with Elliott because you bring back Elliott and they're gonna have great chemistry.
Yeah, a little bit of chemistry there. That makes sense. Hopefully it plays out that way. How's our man Beanie Bishop fit into it this year?
Well,
look, Beanie's going to have to continue to step up, especially in the slot position, because he's got some competition there. I don't think they'll get rid of him. If anybody's expandable, it's going to be our boy Pierre. But
he
is going to have to come to training camp.
He's like the Mason Rudolph of corners.
Just keep sticking around.
Yeah. Never kick him off the practice squad, then we put him on the practice squad, then put him on the roster, then put him on the craft practice. Can't keep track of them.
Well, it's like you said about Beanie Bishop.
Well, and I also think this is going to have to be the year for Corey Trice, too.
True.
I think Beanie Bishop and Corey Trice, this is going to have to be huge years for these guys.
Okay.
Well, with Trice, it's about injuries. With Bishop, I think he can get there if he continues to develop, get some game action. Whereas Trice, he just hasn't played, so we just don't know about him, honestly.
Well, Beanie had plenty of splash plays last year, but he was like kind of like Evgeny Malkin for the Penguins. Like for every great play he makes some bonehead plays too. So he certainly got lost and mixed up in some coverages along the way. But who doesn't, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's a learning curve, right?
I mean, for a rookie to be inconsistent is actually pretty normal. If he can be more consistent going to year 2, I think that's, not. I wouldn't say that's out of the realm of possibility.
Well, I think I read something with an interview with him where, he recognized that. And he says, there's still a lot to learn and you're always learning, that type of thing too. So, but I mean, the dude was playmaker. Even
he might have had the nicest interception all year of any player on the team.
Yeah, I'd put it right up there. Definitely.
Yeah.
Who else did we talk about yet?
Well, speaking of corners, not one on our team, but the Ravens did sign Jair Alexander, who we'll have to face twice a year now.
Lovely.
Yeah, it's tough, man.
That's all right.
Yeah, but you know what? Man, I'm not quite sure I'm too worried about him.
Yeah,
and when do we play the Ravens?
I'm glad we took a flyer.
We don't play them till what? late second half of the season, right?
It's not till like December, honestly.
Yeah, so
He might not even be available then.
Might not even be a factor then.
Yeah, I figure by that time they won't have any corners or running backs.
Lamar will be hurt.
Right.
That's very possible.
They'll make a trade with Cleveland for Kenny Pickett.
Or they go get Joe
back. Yeah.
Right. They go get Joe.
Get Joe. Mr. AFC North.
Well, I tell you what, since it's a light week, why don't we end the show with the gift that keeps on giving? You know what that is?
I love it. He certainly just keeps giving us something to talk about, doesn't he, TA?
He sure does. I think we're going to have to change his nickname to Herpes.
Because it just keeps coming back. It never goes away.
It never goes away. But
oh my God! Now attempted murder charge for AB. Oh my gosh!
Whoa, that's crazy.
Now here's my question that I have now. Okay, because all right, attempted murder. He took a security guard's gun, shot recklessly in the air, couple of shots. The gun has come up missing. However, we did find the casing shells. And it just so happened that he's not fleeing, but he is in Dubai right now. Does he come back or does he stay in Dubai? I mean, you can't script this shit. I mean,
wait a minute. How can he afford to go to Dubai? Didn't he didn't he file for bankruptcy? Last thing we heard.
Well, that's kind of what I thought too, but evidently he must have had a little bit left in the piggy bank. Took a couple quarters of nickels to go to Dubai.
His attorney had some stashed in his safe behind him. Yeah, behind his office there.
Right. It's either that or it's the unpaid child support money he hasn't given up yet.
Saul Goodman had some stashed for him.
Yeah, better call Saul.
Better call Saul. He did.
Better call Saul. Absolutely. Maybe that ought to be AB's new theme song. Better call Saul. I can see it now. I just, you know what? If this is the case, okay, then in all honesty, I think we do joke about it because it is funny. But at the same time, if CTE is really playing a part in this, I know the judge went ahead. I don't know how many arrests it was back that he needed to do mental health treatment. Evidently, that wasn't good. I think that part of his sentence, in all honesty, should be in a nut ward.
Maybe.
Put him in a wet suit.
CTE scan or whatever.
Some kind of help. Some kind of help. Because if not, he's just detrimental to himself and the public at this point in time. Yeah.
So, and if we can't figure out you got CTE while you're alive, what better candidate to use than AB? Because we're all questioning it right now for sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So many people are on board with that, our philosophy that after that perfect hit, he's never the same after that, man. So, well,
no.
I guess we wish him well and, that people around him remain safe.
Mm-hmm.
And he is
keeping himself. Which we know you are. Please keep your penis in your pants in Dubai. Nobody wants to see that.
Of course not.
Affirmative.
On that note, I think we should talk about the hot tub at this point in time.
Yeah. Keep in the hot tub now.
To the hot tub.
Gentlemen, we'll see you next time. Steeler Nation, we're out of here.
Good night.
Be good.
Boop. And boop.
Check back next week into the Steelers realm.